Hello and welcome to my tutorial. My name is Alex and this is my first tutorial for my new channel. There may be people coming from my old gaming channel, or you are just wondering how to switch from Vegas to Premiere, some of the basics, which is what I'm going to go through. I try and stick to the point, but because this is my first video, I'm going to get a little bit of an introduction out of the way and then I'll get to it. So again, my name is Alex. This is my new tutorials channel. I'm be covering Premiere, After Effects, a couple other Adobe things like Audition, blah blah blah. Later on I get into Cinema 4D and maybe Maya. So if you are interested in any of that at any point, please subscribe, leave a like, and look forward to future videos. I'm going to try and pump out one maybe every week or 2 weeks right now because I'm just starting out and there's no incentive for me to do like daily uploads for 2 subscribers. So if you are interested, again, please subscribe. So I'm going to get right into it. So if you have Premiere, fantastic. If not, you're following along, great. Download it. All right, so when you open Premiere, this is what you are greeted with. Obviously, hit New Project, unless you're continuing a project and you have no idea what you're doing. So you looked up how to switch from Vegas and you already have a project. You can name it whatever you want, location wherever you want, or you can hit Browse to open up your folder. I don't mess with any of this, ever. You can, I guess, if you're a professional post-production editor. If you're not, then don't worry about it. You can edit it later, too, if you want. If you really want to Google it and look up some other tutorial, I'm sure there's thousands of them. All right, so when you get in here, you have... It's a little bit similar to Vegas. You obviously have a lot more options because it's Adobe Premiere and not Sony Vegas, and Premiere is more expensive as well. So when you get in here, you have a bunch of different workspaces. All panels is pretty much everything: effects, timeline, video, or effect controls and preview, your project media, libraries, blah, blah, blah. If you go to assembly, which I have never used, I suppose you could use this if you're just moving clips around, but I don't see the point. I just use this tab. It's similar to Sony Vegas. And if you're coming from Vegas and using this for the first time, I could tell you, you will be most comfortable in the editing mode. To move stuff around, you can just, do this and move it to different tabs. I'm not going to do that because I have this set up how I want. Again, pretty similar to Sony Vegas. Color, again, I've never used this. I suppose if you're working strictly with color corrections, you could. You've got a color tab over here where you can really get into details. Obviously, I don't have any clips or effects selected, so there's nothing here. But again, you could just go to like effects or editing and do the same thing. Yeah, so the effects tab, you will probably work in this quite a bit. These editing and effects are the main ones. This has all your video, audio effects, transitions, blah, blah, blah. Again, look at that. Lumi presets, or Lumetri. I don't know why I said Lumi. Lumetri, color presets and stuff like that. Audio, I've worked in it like once or twice, but I prefer to use Audition. You can actually export your, or import rather, your audio from Premiere to Audition, edit it in Audition, and it automatically saves to Premiere. So, some nice, Premiere pretty much works good with all of the other programs that relate to editing, After Effects, Audition, and the sort. So yeah, I guess you could, but again, you can also do it in editing. Again, this is why I usually use the editing tab. Titles, I also use this when I'm editing text. When you have text selected and in your video, you'll have a bunch of different settings up here, way more than Sony Vegas. So if you like to add text from Premiere or Vegas in this case, if that's what you're using still, you will enjoy this. So let's go back to editing. Again, this is the main thing that I use. And in advance, I do apologize if you hear any clicking or knocking around, stuff like that on my desk. My microphone is very sensitive, so I'll try and get that sorted if there's any problems. But I have a folder opened up in my other window of my clips, so I'm just going to import something. Again, if you are from my gaming channel, then I'm just importing some gaming clips. I'm not editing anything, so it's not important what I have right now. If you're from somewhere else or just found this video by search, I used to do gaming videos, so a lot of these tutorials may be using those, maybe using real life, depending on what the tutorial is and how in-depth it is. So yeah, so this is your project area with all your clips. If you choose to import one at a time or all of them, this is where they'll be. If you choose the effects, pretty much same thing, and you can sort this however you want. That's the great thing about Premiere. You can move anything anywhere. So if you want this over here, you can do that. If you want to switch these around, you can do that again by clicking this and moving it around. So a lot of details. And if you have like a TV, you'll especially enjoy that because you have everything in little different sections to your liking. So yeah. So let's go back to editing here. This is your timeline. If you click and drag here, your sequence will match, your clip settings. So in this case, I have 59.94 frames. If you click the clip here, this is where all of your effects will be. It also go into effects, and they're there as well. Editing is where you'll be able to edit the keyframes and stuff like that when you add effects. So, and I know I'm moving fast here, but I'm trying to cover a lot while keeping this tutorial relatively short. If you have any specific requests, something I don't cover, leave a comment. I'll do my best to instruct you via text on YouTube comments. And if not, if I get a lot of questions, I'll just make a part 2. So instead of trying to create a whole forum thread on trying to instruct someone how to do it, I'd rather just make a video and show you. It's a little bit easier. So you notice in the effects tab, I've got nothing here. I don't know why it does it for me, but all you gotta do is hit timeline in the windows, and I can just drag it right here. Let me fuck with this right now. Pardon my language. I'm highly unprofessional. So here's the timeline. I'm just gonna minimize that because I'm not using it. Okay, so again, here's the effects. If you want to, I don't know why I just did that. It didn't even load. That's weird. But if you do have that problem, just go back. And there you go. So here's all your effects. Let's add a blur just so you could see Gaussian blur, just to make it so you can't see it. So you can just click and drag, or I'm going to revisit this project area. In Sony Vegas, you have adjustment layers. There's a little thing right here called new item, and you could hit adjustment layer. It'll match my settings. It should match your settings. If not, you can adjust it to your liking. And look at that. You can just click and drag. So right now, we have a blur over this, so you can mess with it over here. Let's delete that. Or you can add it to the adjustment layer and select the adjustment layer, and you can do the same exact thing. So if you don't want to mess with your clip quality, then you could just do that. Delete that for now. I don't want it, don't need it. So there's a bunch of, I'm going to show you some basic effects, and then that's pretty much the, basics for this. So you've got all of your scale. You don't have to right click. You don't have to go effect, scale, whatever. It's been a long time since I've used Sony Vegas, so maybe they've advanced it, maybe they haven't. I highly doubt it. So here's your all your effects. Position. You can mess with all that. Sorry about the language. Again, highly unprofessional. Here's your rotation. You've got opacity right here. You can set keyframes. So it's a little bit different in here. Keyframes. Again, in the editing workspace. So if you want to make keyframes, you select this little stopwatch toggle animation. So let's just say I want to start with 0 and I want to fade in. So I'm going to delete this keyframe. Excuse me, and I'll get back into that. So here's your keyframe. You select this little diamond, and that's add or remove keyframe. So if I click it again, see the keyframe's gone. Click it, keyframe's back. Yay. So I can move forward. Oops, I think I just knocked my microphone. Sorry about that. So if you're on Windows, it's Command for Mac, Control for Windows. Or maybe it's the same, I don't know. Basically this right here is the frame. So I'm at frame 383 right now. If you hold control and click, there's how many seconds, and this is minutes, and this is hours, obviously. And that's just basically how you switch. If you want to be very precise, you could do frames. If you don't care, you could do time. Either way is great. So let's say I want to do a 5-second fade in. I just add another. All I got to do to add another keyframe is just adjust this. So the stopwatch is clicked. So any adjustment to this will create a new keyframe, basically. Control Z to undo those. So now, I'm not going to play it because I don't want any audio playing over my voice, my wonderful voice. But now when I move this, you can see it's going to fade in. It's all messed up because I messed it up. Let's see if I can bring that back here. There we go. Look at that, perfectly centered. All right, so blend mode is pretty much, if you ever used Photoshop before, if you've ever dabbled in that, I might even do some tutorials on that at some point. If you've ever messed around with Photoshop, you'll be familiar with the blend mode. Pretty sure Vegas has something similar, but I mean, you can do overlay. Obviously, if I had another clip under here, it would overlay with that clip. But since I don't, nothing's happening. Got a little bit lighter. You've got speed right here. I'm going to go through that, some of the effects and actual editing in a different video. But basically, this is your speed setting. If you want to slow it down, speed it up. Again, you can add a keyframe, right click, speed duration. You can mess with that. Also, I guess you can mess with effects from here too if you want, like audio, stuff like that. But again, I prefer to export to Premiere. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll have another tutorial dedicated to that. Again, I'm going to try and like baby step basically people who've never used this program from scratch on this brand new channel. So we'll see how that goes. Again, this volume, you can increase the levels to max if you want for some reason. And you could do negative as well if you don't want anybody to hear anything. And you can even fade it in with your keyframes. Channel volume is more into audio editing. Again, can't say it enough. I use Audition. I highly recommend using Audition because that's an audio editing program. Premiere is video, so you get some basic effects. But if you want, more advanced effects, check out Audition. So that's really it. You've got a workspace similar to Vegas, as far as I remember. Look at that Matthew McConaughey lisp that I'm rocking right now. Again, you got your workspaces. You will mainly, when you're starting out, you'll mainly be using this one and this one, the effects and the editing. Editing for your clips, for cutting stuff, which is Control K to cut a clip. K as in koala bear, people. And you can select a clip and delete it, or you can, drag it back out like you would in Vegas, and it's all back. Fantastic. Control Z to undo, as is anything on any computer ever. Yeah, that's really the basics. These are your different audio things. If you want to unlink, right-click, and where is it? Unlink. So now your audio and your video are independent. And you can delete the audio and your video is still there. I'm going to undo all of that. But these are your different video channels. If you want to create a new one for any reason, you right-click, add track, and you'll eventually when you add so many, it's actually got a mini scroll bar here, and you can actually expand as well. For some reason you want to see it in here. And you can just scroll up for your different ones. Same with audio. Same exact thing. I'm not going to add anything because it's literally the same exact thing. The little eyeball here is to make a track not visible for any reason. Same with audio. The mute. M stands for mute. S is for solo track. I guess you can lock stuff too if you don't want it to be edited. I never do that. I don't need to. You can expand these windows. These are also your little tools. I mostly use keyboard shortcuts. It even has it right there. Yeah. Again, I keep saying that's the basics and then saying one more thing. So I'm going to cut it short. If you have a comment or a question, rather, leave a comment and I'll do my best to reply. If I get too many, or not too many, if I get, enough, then I'll make a part 2. I mean, this is basically just, making a tutorial switching to Vegas, or switching to Premiere rather from Vegas based on what I think some people might want to know. Okay, I have no feedback, no specific questions I'm answering in this video. So the best way for me to make more videos is for people to ask questions, of course. So, yeah, again, if you guys look forward to more videos, again, I try and stay to the point with a little bit of comedy and sarcasm here and there, of course. You have to have that because otherwise I mean, do you really want to go to a classroom where they teach you the exact same thing? You know what's funny is that my class would reference YouTube videos. So basically, I'm paying thousands of dollars, or paid thousands of dollars rather, to have someone tell me to do something that I already did 5 years before I took school. So, maybe you're linked to this video from your class. You know, you're linked to this free YouTube video from your class that you're paying for. You know, why didn't they make a tutorial? Because they're lazy. All right, that is the tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast. Again, trying to keep it relatively short and basic and simple and all that stuff. So, questions, ask them. I'll make a video. I'll respond. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'm at your disposal. Yeah, I will see you guys hopefully in the next tutorial. Have a great day, week, weekend, whatever. Catch you later.